All right, test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2. All right, today's Monday, June the 2nd. We're opening in 8 minutes. And right, high impact news at 10 o'clock. On the daily, we're at an interesting level. The weekly has been respecting intersecting the weekly SIBI to the downside if you guys have the weekly up in front of you. And on the daily, it's honestly been moving sideways for 2 weeks now, but again, I think we have to be nimble today and see what entries we get around the 10 o'clock position. Usually from a 1 hour perspective, you can see here, we've ultimately on Friday taken out buy side liquidity from these relative equal highs on the 15-minute. On the 1 hour, you can't really see them, but on the 15-minute, you can. Price after that dropped down a bit. We opened up with a gap lower. Price traded down to the lower end of this BSI pushing up to the the upper end of it. And from like a 1 hour perspective, what am I expecting from price? Again, it just took out so much buy side here. If it is going lower, where is it going to? Most likely this level or this level. But from a daily perspective, I do want to see a push higher from here. London has done a lot of damage to the downside here. And then what I want to see is Asia's high being touched. So our first draw on liquidity is going to be that level right there, and that coincides with the mean threshold of the opening gap, which is just over 100 points. It is NFP week, so that's going to be also interesting for us as well. Four minutes till open. For the open, we have relative equal lows here form below us. We'll see in 3 minutes what price wants to. And then we'll probably wait till the 950, 1010 macro, and most likely we might see a nifty trade around there. All right, opening in 1 minute. We still have a volume imbalance from Friday's close to today's open. There's an area that hasn't been traded to. This area is drawing my interest for the day, assuming that price wants to hold the daily fair value gap and push price to the upside. But let's see what price is going to do at 9:30. Hopefully it comes down and takes out these relative equal lows and starts attempting to push higher into the new week opening gap. Remember, there is a 70% chance midpoint's going to get taken in the first 30 minutes. That's unfortunate that it just started rocketing up right away. That's okay. So my target has been hit without allowing me to get in Asia's highs. That was unfortunate. And midpoint has been taken as well. Midpoint of the RTH gap. All right, price is heading into that area that I was interested in. It was the volume imbalance, which is essentially this red line here. It's probably going to get taken any second now. It's not a trade that I could have caught, I think, this morning. So price is currently at the new day opening gap of 530. Price is right now probably heading for Friday's highs, which is at this level right here, Friday's highs. So let's see it do this. It would be nice for price not to take out these relative equal highs, come back lower, tag us in, and then continue higher. Today's first presentation fair value gap is is going to be right here. This is Monday's first presentation, fair value gap. 6.2. And we'll make the border red just because these are a bit more impactful throughout the whole week. And what I'm going to do here is lock it so that this stays here for the remaining of the week. And you can see here I drew it actually incorrectly. You want the fair value gaps to actually encompass any gapping that happens from the previous candle to the next. So it's actually going to look something like that. And there you go. Oh, and there's the gapping right there as well. So that is the first presentation. Let's lock that. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove last Monday's. I can't have too many of these gaps here. Usually I use the top 5. But currently, we've just broke through the end dog of yesterday or of today, 5:30. Oh no, 5:30 is yesterday's. I hit Thursday's first presentation, and now let's see what price wants to do. For Friday's highs here, that's an interesting level that price might want to reach towards. If price continues to break higher like this, we're just going to wait for the lunch macro, and we're just going to take it down to the first presentation. Price right now is turning around Thursday's afternoon first presentation. It's a possible short. It could possibly retrace from here, but we got Friday's highs right above us. That is the draw. Daily right now is looking really bullish. 4 hours looking really bullish as well. Let's see what the 15-second is doing here. It's moving sideways. We got news at 10 o'clock. So let's see what that's gonna do to price. Ugh. Something like this is impossible to catch right after the 9:30 open. I would have been interested if price went down first and taking out these lows that it forms right before. That would have been my entry to go long to hit up these Asian highs. But price didn't decide to do that today. It's a one-way direction higher. Okay, Friday's highs were just taken. So Friday's highs taken. Not that important for a level to hit anymore. And then the higher drawn liquidity is above Thursday's highs. It'll probably take some time for price to get here. But overall, from a higher time frame, I think this week we're going to try to hit all-time highs on NQ. In terms of day trading this, what I want to see is a move like this is eventually going to pullback, and that's probably going to happen either around the 10 o'clock news. If not, if it continues going up, then it's going to be 11:30 for the pullback. But it is NFP week, so a lot of the money, a lot of the action is going to happen early on. Price right now is continuing to print up, straight up. It's currently touching this level right here. I don't know what it is. I'm going to remove it. But we've got Tuesday's first presentation. It touched it. Then of course there's, you know, a reaction. But I wouldn't say that this is something that we're shorting off of. We do have a bullish BISI here. Let's see if price is going to want to continue this bullish trend from it and continue higher. Again, like if we're looking for high level targets, we've got on the 15-minute here some, like this level right here looks pretty smooth to me. It's this end dog level. So let's take our eyeball here. New target for the day of where it might draw to. I'm not saying it's going to do it on this candle push here, but again, if it, you know, decides to pull back and push long one more time, it might want to take out this high right here from Thursday and then this high right here, which is seen as minor buy side liquidity. All right. So I do want to see how price is going to react to this inversion right here. If price can close below it, push back up, respect midpoint. It already took Friday's highs. So, you know, sell side has been taken. This technically could be a quick short, as that was buy side. I don't know, something like that, 5-1. Let's see. I just want to see a reaction to this here to give me a bit more confluence. So right now, price has, I just want to see it push into this again and see if it's going to respect it as a bearish PDA, and then might take a small short down to first presentation. We do have red folder news at 10 o'clock. So to be honest, depending on what we get here, I'll see, but 10 o'clock is going to be, I think, the real news driver to take a position, targeting liquidity, which is going to be this untested first fair value gap of Monday, which is today. Get a nice push off the premium, made $5 off it. Yeah, nice. Ah, man, if Claris, if it just pushed lower into these relative equal lows here, I would have made a lot of money off this push. But unfortunately, it decided just to shoot up. NFPs this week on Friday, so it's going to be a short trading week. Right now, prices staying above the Thursday afternoon first presentation fair value gap. I do want to see what it's going to do here, right here. pushed up into this. To this inversion. I'm not in love with this. The reason why is this is, you know, an aggressive turtle soup entry. If I were to get here, what is that? A 4-1. But I just want to see this hold here. Bit more confirmation. So this candle right here is acting nicely against both of these fair value gaps here. Relative equal lows have been formed below us on the 15-second. That's my risk parameters. What I don't like about this is that we got red folder news in 15 minutes. If this was like a position after the red folder news, this would have been a lot better. Price is going to most likely tag. You guys are looking at a 50-second chart. There you go. The lows have been tagged right there. Regrets not taking this down. And that second push. Let's see here. That was the trade there. I hesitated a bit there on the short. Because it's Monday. Maybe the copy hasn't kicked in yet. If you guys did catch it, look how it's going to respect the upper half of this RTH gap here. If you're in, this is like a break even right now. Your stop loss should be at entry. And right now you really should have two positions here. Price is going to tag you out of profit. You can partial out here as well. So see how it just bounced off of it right now. It's also bouncing off of the 530 end dog, which is 530 Fridays. Yeah, Friday's end dog. All right, we've got another bearish fair value gap here, forming to the downside. I guess I don't know about entry two here. The reason why I want to take the short here is because it's nicely rejecting this 530 gap here. So a second entry, if you miss the first one, something like that, that might be a bit more risky. But I'd have to get to midpoint for that RR there. But this, I'm loving even less than this, so. If price comes up here, it gives me like a nice fat wick and showing that it's closing below the lower half here. That is something I am willing to take risk on. So bunches we're taking there, stop loss would be right here. Something like that. prices, came into this red fair value gap here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna wait for the 10 o'clock news to hit before I take a trade. But this is very painful to watch right now, seeing this go without me. So it's cool. I'm right 2 out of 2 times. The open and the short. No trades executed. Claris, it's fucking it hurts, man. But like you just gotta be patient. And see, like the second entry here, it would have fucking worked out too, but you'd have to get entered right there. Something like that. Like a 1.5 to 1. I'm gonna cry about this in my sleep. It's okay. It's okay. Friday's highs taken, inversion, bodies are staying below the midpoint, and it collapsed lower too. Almost first presentation. It's probably going to get there on the next candle. It just has to push 2.5 more points to the downside. Price broke the end dog here, so price most likely is going to be collapsing lower. Can I take a 15-second trade here? Catching the last moment of this trade. I could, but I'm not going to. Currently, we're in the macro of 950 to 1010. What was this? This was a 3-to-1 trade that I don't know what stopped me from taking it. I was waiting for a bit more, and when it pushed down to this low, it just felt like it was too big to execute on a 1.8 to 1. But sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet and just be okay with the loss. Okay, prices right now breaking below. These relative equal lows here are of interest. Okay, next trade here. I wanted to come back into this end dog here. I wanted to respect it and drop lower. So trade 1 would have been good. Trade 2 here is I want price to take it down to these lows here. These lows are going to most likely be taken, Claris, I think, right before the open. I just want to see price break below this end dog, close below it, and the first time it touches the lower half of it, I'm going into a short. So like that, that's going to be my entry. So 2 seconds, 1 second. All right, I'm in a short. It never came back in, but I'm taking it off of the closure. Entry is, man, my entry is low. I'm going to scale in a bit if it pushes into this. Relative equal lows, 257. 257. 257.75. And my stop's going to be right there. 346. Two to 1. So price right now is pushing into Friday's New York first presentation. There's no the price is aiming for this liquidity here. In theory, it shouldn't break today's first presentation. I liked how it closed below it. I'm not crazy about my entry, but it is what it is. Scaled in a bit more when I pushed into this first presentation. And now it's just, you know, if we're right, it should collapse. Entry was at 316 on average. 316, so right there. That wasn't a nice candle there, but it's still staying below midpoint. And it looks like I'm going to be out of the position at any second now. Still in it. Hopefully it doesn't hit my high here. And hopefully price stays within this end dog and pushes lower to these relative equal lows here. And unfortunate. Let's see here. It just tagged me out. Don't say it's going to drop from here again. We're going short in again. I do think it's going to drop to my target. And if I'm wrong on this, then I'm going to call it a day. 257. 257. I can't believe I got tagged out right there. Oh my gosh. $57.75. Yeah, I picked the top tick with my stop loss. I was happy with my reentry. Like my second position, my reentry was 325. 325. Right. That's my position there right now. Technically my stop can be, you know, a bit smaller now. So my stop loss is sitting right here, 246.75. 246.75. But I don't know. It's when you get stopped out like this, it takes a lot of balls to get back in. But we'll see. Like I'll be okay if it decides to take me out again. Whatever. Yeah. Hopefully it does. Uses in what? Oh, 1 minute. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I think the news will push it down, actually. That's my bet in 30 seconds. Because those relative equal lows just don't get left there and stay open. It's because price took out Friday's high. It broke below all these key levels. It broke below today's first presentation. It rejected it really nicely. I think right now at 10 o'clock, it should just spike lower and hit our targets. And then if it continues lower from here, I don't know where it's going to go to be honest. I'll have to check the charts, but look at the 15-minute here. Brutal. Come on, price. Pulling down my stop a bit. 280. Currently at break even. I'm gonna scale out. Should I scale out or should I leave it? I'm gonna leave it. Leave it for the stream. Okay, my stop loss is right here above this candle. What's up? All right. Nice little fucking win. So that's how you do it, guys. Intraday bias scalping. That's how you get it done. Would have made more money if I didn't get stop hunted there. But I don't know. I gotta just look back and see. How can I improve my stop losses? But like 9 out of 10 times, my stop loss usually works above this new dog. But anyone take a trade here with me? Oh my gosh. I didn't. Well, I only have 2 viewers, so other viewer, whoever you are, did you take a trade? Oh my gosh, man. And to be honest, like looking at what price did today, Friday's highs taken, trade 1, I pussied out. Trade 2, stop loss wasn't correct, and then trade 3, I made money. So I'm up 900 times my 5 accounts. So I'm up 5K today. Like I was right all the time, but one correct execution made me money for the day. So look at the hourly here. Look how it closed above. So right now, are you guys bearish or bullish? Exactly, Claris. You're bullish right now? I'm bearish personally. It's like, this is how I'm seeing it. Like, see on the top left here, price created a new week. Actually, give me 1 sec, guys. I just gotta reply to a message. So price rejected like these blue bars here, like which are the like 2 new week opening gaps. It closed below it, took out Friday's high. Daily's weird. I'm bullish on the daily, but can it drop before it does the final push? I think it can. But after a manipulation push like this, like where would price go to? Look what it did. Those relative equal lows that I pointed out, price actually went lower. And where did it go to? These relative equal lows on the 15-minute. Relative equal lows. And then where do you think price can go? See, like this is weird. Like, look, it's rejection of Asia's low, and then rejections, and then the rejection of the Asian high as well. So, but what's at 10:30, Claris? Right? In my opinion, nothing's at 10:30. 10:30 is when I stop trading. I wait for like 11:30 when I take the lunchtime macro, but there is no lunchtime macro today, in my opinion, because there was no one-sided push. It was up and then down. Just give me one sec here. I'm having technical difficulties on my end. This could go sideways for the rest of the day. Yeah, honestly, if I were to guess bullish, bearish, or sideways, I might trend with sideways. Why is this working? But if you guys aren't in a position right now, I don't know if I would recommend getting into any position right now after this. And, you know, other viewer, feel free to subscribe. We pull money like this. Not every day, but we try to. No, what I've noticed is that usually when you have these big swings up and down, the next is just liquidity buildup. It just goes up and down to induce traders. Yeah, agree with that. But yeah. So honestly, this is, to be honest, I just put the bullet. I'm like, I know this is going to these lows. 10 o'clock is going to be the catalyst. If you can get in a couple minutes before that, and you like, it's levels like this that isn't. I think 4.5 seems impressive, but it's just 5 silly 50K accounts. And I don't know, like the way I would do it is if you can afford one, get your first payout on one, and then buy like 3 more, trade them very conservatively. And then within like 2 months or a month, you're hitting numbers like this. And then it's just quick 10K payouts from Top Step once you hit 4K on each account. So I think it's impressive just cause, but it was a really small trade. Like, what was my entry here? It was somewhere around here, to be honest, but it was a 2.8 to 1, and my risk was, I think, around like $300, $350. So if you can pull consistent results off of one micro, it's just a mindset shift, making 10, 15. Like someone I know, he made 2.5 million, you know, Kyle, and crazy trader. And it's crazy because through his X updates, he essentially was doing 300K a day. And for me, that was like, what? 300K a day? That's insane. Like I barely get like 2K or 1K sometimes, but he had 25 accounts, all trading the same. And then eventually when your balance is big enough and you can afford a couple of losses in a row, that fear goes away. And you just start trading just based on like intuition. Like you're in the zone. Like this trade right here, to be honest, it was a good trade. It was aggressive, but it took out Friday's highs. It inverted a very large fair value gap. It managed to stay below these 2 fair value gaps. Look how many candles, 1, 2, 3 candles, and it dropped. And to be honest, the position could have been like this, right? But I don't know, it just fear kicked in. And I'm like, it's really hard for me to be wrong on, especially on live stream, being wrong. It's really tough, guys. And I hesitated. If I wasn't on live, maybe I would have taken this. But on live, I'm just like, I don't know. It's not like A+, A+, A+. It's only like A-. But it was a great trade to here. And then I took like the second trade down, right? The second leg. But this right here, I don't understand. So let's see, if you guys took in that first trade with me, where would a better stop loss be? Maybe above this high, to be honest. Right? So maybe the wick of the first presentation fair value gap, because this area right here is technically called, like, it's a gap, right? It's considered balanced. So maybe moving forward, I might start putting my stop losses here. I got to do a bit more back testing, but I'm keeping note here, right? This would have this lost me $400 today. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely a different kind of pressure. But Claris, the positive thing is, it makes me not take shitty trades. Like, I take somewhat decent trades on live, and sometimes off stream I see like a B- setup, and I'm like, this is gonna hit, but I wouldn't take that live. And sometimes it hits, and sometimes it doesn't. So this helps me kind of scope in. And overall, I trade better on live than I do offline, which is funny. But yeah, Claris, you just up $5 for the day, or did you make a bit more money today? I'm thinking, oh, okay. I was just thinking about making $5 on the long. Unless you're betting with a buddy saying, hey, $5 long on NQ. You buy Wendy's. But overall, guys, for today, the magnet's the $5. Hey, $5 is pizza. If it's prop, it's only 2.5 because they keep half. So for 2.5, can you get a slice of pizza? I don't know. Maybe. Depends where you live. Not here in Canada. All right. I guess all in all, where can I position the next trade here? I'm most likely done trading for the day, guys. Just being honest with you. Do I like longs from here? I'm not crazy about them because we took out Friday's liquidity. We're trading below the first presentation fair value gap. Like, if we get above this, maybe price might start creeping up higher and take out these highs and it starts going. But I don't know. I feel like the main levels, like, let's look at the 15-minute chart. Like, these relative equal lows here, taken. Friday's highs, taken. So what other targets are you going to be aiming for? Is it going to hit London's low? I don't think so. Like, why would it, right? It could possibly. I'm not saying it can't, right? So the bias is that these new weak opening gaps hold price down and it starts pushing lower from this, right? So possibility. Option 2 is it's going to start creeping up higher and higher, and it's just going to keep going to the highs, right? But the question I ask myself is, do I have a high like pull on bias? And I don't. Like, for me, it's like 50-50 here. I can see it going up, I can see it going down. There's no edge, zero edge, at least on my end. Maybe how it rejects to like the new day opening gap, and it might take a short to these lows here and anticipate price might going lower. But look how it's rejecting this 1 hour BISI, right? It's such conflicted price action here. So like 1 hour, I don't know where it's going to go, to be honest. ICT probably does, but based on my level trading, I don't know. The two levels haven't hit today that I was aiming for, right? The bottom of the range and top of the range. Daily, like, this is what the daily chart's looking like, guys. Can you guys see it? I think you can. And if you guys are doing daily, I do continuous contracts just because I realize ICT does continuous and not the actual like current quarter contract. But look what it did. It's on the weekly perspective. Look how last week's closed. Everything is closing below the midpoint of this weekly SIBI. So this is indicating weakness to me. Even though that we have all of this bot or this pull on liquidity here, like price is gonna hit these levels in the near future. Like this is our draw, our weekly draw. But in the meantime, can price go down from here and then up? I see that as a possibility. Or it might shoot straight up. See, that I don't know. And what, as day traders and intraday traders, is we look for those cookie crumbs here. Look on the daily chart here now, right? We're sitting in Friday's buy side target, or sorry, buy side BISI. If today's candle is going to close on the upper half of it, I'm going to be bullish for tomorrow. Like I think price is going to continue going higher. If it closes below it, I'm like, okay, maybe we're going to start heading for these lower lows, hitting this volume imbalance, which hasn't been traded, and then pushing higher. I really hope it goes down first and then up, because it's going to be really easy trading on the way up and really easy waiting on the trade down, because like we know our target. So this might be a possible target here. Let me draw it out. What is this? Is this a weekly opening? Yeah. So this is let's call it it's a liquidity void, right? Right. This could be the draw on liquidity. Right. And then that's also our draw on liquidity. So we just got to figure out where price wants to go. And right now it's in between both these levels. So we just got to be a bit more patient. If you guys haven't caught a trade today, I think price has done its runs for the day. And what we have to wait for is, see, look, relative equal highs formed right below this undog. I think very shortly, it might pierce these highs, go into midpoint, and then it might push lower. But this high right here is sketchy, okay? It's going to get ran. It might go lower at the bottom of the RTH gap and go higher, but just watch out for this high here. It's going to get ran any second now. That's a very low draw, probably hit Friday. That's a very low draw, probably will hit that on Friday's news. Oh, and it's NFP week too, exactly. So it's challenging, I think, right now where we're at. This was clear. The open was impossible to catch, in my opinion, unless you caught a long from these relative equal lows, but then you're not trading with a strategy. You're just gambling at that point. The short here was good. The second short here was I think it was decent as well. Total confirmation would be like this candle right here closing. You'd have like a 1.5 to 1. So still really strong. And yeah, like right now, like prices, it's dicking around on, like it's pushing below Friday's New York first presentation fair value gap. Here's today's. So here's a really, really strong level. If price breaks above this, I don't think it's going to go short. I think it's going to kind of dick around going long. I'm not saying that it's going to go straight up, but do keep these two levels in mind here. Today's first presentation, the end dog of 6-2. You know what's actually interesting? Today's new day opening gap. Oh, never mind. Okay. So yeah, so Friday's NFP. Let's quickly look at the news here, the news calendar. So let's open up Forex Factory. So this is what we have for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have 10 a.m. high impact news. So I'm going to be taking a trade probably around 10 a.m. Maybe 8:30, maybe pre-market, I don't know, but for sure around 10 a.m. if I see a clear draw on liquidity. Wednesday, we have ADP non-farmal change, non-farm employment change at 8:15. I might live stream a bit early there. Let's see if maybe we can catch something around that volatility. If not, 10 o'clock ISM. So Wednesday, we're trading. Thursday, the day before NFP, ICT says don't trade. And to be honest, I think we shouldn't trade. But we'll live stream anyways, and we'll just do paper reading, unless things extremely clear. And we take it. And then Friday's NFP. And most likely I'm not going to be, because I've got some personal stuff I need to take care of. But look what price did here, guys. Remember that high I was talking about that was looking really weird? Look, it ran it. It hit midpoint of today's first presentation. And now it's going to be, I don't know. It rejected it. So I'm assuming it might possibly go lower, but I don't have a clear draw on liquidity here. So I'm not going to take this. Like there's nothing here that I like to the short side other than it rejecting these levels right here, right now with this one wick. So you can't take trades off of one candle. It has to be married to a bias, it running away from it, it hitting major levels of liquidity, it doing, this wasn't even a market structure shift, right? MMS is technically right here, right? Once this got broken, that was the market structure shift for that second trade. So to be honest, when I drew in that second trade short here, that was like, I think something like that. Again, safe. Where would you have this? I would have it like right here or something. Like I wouldn't want like this bearish order block to be taken. Maybe this high, but I think here is safe. Okay, so that would have been, there's so many ways of getting into this trade. But the RR was definitely to the lower end. Right? 1.5 if you got lucky there. Probably you'd have to enter right there. So this was like a 1.3 to 1. And then if you had trading it through these new day opening apps, or sorry, these first presentations, I don't do that personally, but again, like here's 3 spots. So if you guys haven't taken a trade, here are the 3 possible trades. Personally, I was too scared to take the first one, human emotion. Second one, I didn't like the RR. And again, I hesitated as well. Third one, I liked it, right? I saw where price wants to go, the 10 a.m. news, but hit my stop loss and then I re-entered again for profits for the day. So other than that, guys, it's 10:21. I'm not planning to trade any time further. I'm going to give some time back to all of your days. If I'm looking to trade again, it might be at 11:30. Sorry, it might be at 1:30, the afternoon session. If I see something clear, I might do a quick live stream. But the lunchtime, I'm not trading just because this is not lunchtime. This is not high probability lunchtime trading. And for those that don't know the lunchtime macro, I made a video about it. I might make another video about it, but you'd want this to kind of go higher all the way to 11 o'clock. When 11 o'clock hits, you're looking for shorts, okay? And the target that you're looking for is the first low after 10 o'clock, okay? So like, for example, if this was the first low at 10 o'clock, this would be your target here, okay? It's as simple as that. There's a bit more rules there, but those are like the main ones to guide you on like when to trade, the lunchtime. And if you guys lost money, don't trade the lunchtime today. If you guys made money, don't trade it. If you've made no money, don't trade it. I think 1:30 might be the next best, trading time. And what I wait for at 1:30 is the first presentation. And then I look for relative equal highs or lows or a drawn liquidity. And I trade it that way. So you can see here, price, it was rejecting the end dog to the low end. So this is kind of interesting. It broke above it now. And it would be nice to see, I'm tape reading it now, but seeing it come down lower, rejecting the upper half of it and pushing higher. That's something that I want to see after. Like, look what it did here, guys. This level right here, all this, look, it's just bouncing off of Friday's first presentation and today's first presentation. It finally broke to the upside. So what does that mean? I really feel like it's going to continue pushing higher once it broke this resistance level. Quick scalp on that 320 candle. What the hell is a 320 candle? Look at that. Clarissa's FOMO kicked in and he decided to make some money today. Oh, 1020. Okay, let's see. 1020. So you took a trade after price was bouncing off of these first presentation fair value gaps. It finally took out all the liquidity here, and you decided to take the long after that. I'm glad it worked out. Maybe I'm not seeing something here, Claris. To be honest, Oh, 15 seconds. Got it. Maybe, let's see. Let's get into Claris's head here. Let's try to figure out what he did. Yeah. Yeah, relative to lows taken on the 15 second and taking that long from there. Yeah, I kind of see it. As long as you're consistent with it and you don't break the rules and that model works for you, do it. But I guess on that note, guys, I think I'm gonna kill the live stream. I'm not looking at this long, but I'm just curious what's gonna happen once price hits this level. Will it respect it and push higher? And if it does, I don't think it's gonna be a straight shot up. I think it's gonna be like high resistance trading. So it might do something like this, like just like slowly move sideways and go higher. That's my prediction, just because we took our Friday's highs. So it needs to have a lot of bullish price action to continue pushing higher past this. But once it breaks this level, I think we're going to start aiming for higher levels of liquidity. But on that note, guys, I see what Claire said. If you go down on that, you will see the trendline liquidity was taken and shorts were manipulated. Trendline liquidity. Yeah, I see it. I see it. But all in all, guys, let's call it a wrap. It looks like everyone here that spoke in the chat made money. If anyone else made money, feel free to drop it in the chat, or if you lost money, I'd be interested. And we'll see you tomorrow. Take care, guys. Trade safe, be safe, and talk soon. See you, Claris.